Welcome to AAPC Social Hour for November 9th, 2022. I am logging in and making sure we are live on the AAPC Facebook page. And there we are. I see you guys. And I have my friends Lori, Rita, and Stephanie with me. Hello. It's good to see all of you, and we are excited to be with you. We're kind of getting into the thick of the holiday season, you guys.
Yeah. Already.
Yeah. Lori, are you ready? Have you started shopping?
That's a hard no. I have 3 teenagers. They all want like the most expensive things. And I'm like, well, you're getting one thing from me then, and that's going to be it. It's hard to shop for them.
Oh my goodness. Like, we are now like in that phase. 17, we got 17, 14, and 11. And it was so much easier when they're small. I mean, you could buy them a ton of stuff for $100. And now, yeah.
Those days are gone after a certain age.
Yeah.
Take it from me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Rita, you have it made because you're an empty nester.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, he's in college. He's actually a junior in college, and he's going to be spending his spring semester in Greece.
Oh.
So it's going to be very strange not seeing him for like 7 months straight.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's still the king. He has all his lists ready, so that never goes away no matter how old you are.
Oh boy. Stephanie, how about you? Are you in holiday mode, getting on top of your shopping?
Yeah, I love Black Friday. I already have my friends list and my list ready to go, so I'm just waiting for those
on it
to start. Yeah, no, I love Christmas, Thanksgiving. Those are my favorite holidays. Just everybody getting together and seeing what they're thankful for. It's just nice. Yeah, family.
Stephanie,
I'm almost done, so I start shopping 2 months ahead of time, and I shop as I go and see if I like something for someone, and I pick it up.
Yeah, I love it. Stephanie, I will make sure my list gets emailed to you later today. Yeah. So Lori, Rita, make sure you're on it. And I know, well, here in the Salt Lake City, Utah area, where AAPC national offices are offices located. It is snowy. It is crazy out there today.
I heard that.
Wow.
It's like whiteout conditions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is like 80 degrees here in Missouri today. It's crazy because in the Midwest, we never know what we're getting, right? It's literally 80, and this weekend it's supposed to be 40. I mean, you can't prepare for that. It's stupid.
It was 72 in Philadelphia, which is where I'm from, and I happen to be in Minnesota today, and the other day was 40, and now it's 64 today, so abnormal weather for Minnesota.
Yeah, 52 in Providence right now. It's chilly, but we had like 80 or like close to 80-degree weather over the weekend, so crazy drop. And then I heard in Florida there's going to be a storm or hurricane passing through, so I hope everybody's safe out there if you're in Florida.
So my mom is on a cruise right now. She's on a Bahamas cruise, and they're stuck on the boat an extra day because they can't port because of the weather. So
I mean, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
I know. Yeah, I hear you. Well, hey, this is fun. So Mariah Edwards, she's saying hello from far west Utah. I'm in Layton, Utah, and Mariah is not far from me. We've probably crossed paths at a grocery store or something sometime. Hi, Mariah. Good to have you with us. And our friend Vanessa, who is on the NAB before, Moldovan. She's in Park City, and she says they're getting several inches of snow, and it's still coming down. I think Vanessa's a skier too, so she's probably just loving all this. And another Philadelphia resident, Julian. I hope I said Julian Aikigami. She's from Philly, and so I have to say, Rita, I'm sorry for your loss last week.
We're very upset about that. But you know, our boys went really far. I mean, we're very proud of them. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was a hard loss, but you know, they were fantastic. But we still got the
Yes.
Eagles.
They are the Eagles. That's a crazy. Wow, they're amazing this year. Wow. But we've got Crystal from Anchorage, Alaska, 30 degrees and light snow. I need to get to Alaska someday. Sounds like a beautiful place. Julie from Parker, Colorado, 63 degrees out there. Lawanda, greetings from Detroit. Hi, Lawanda. Thanks for being with us today. And so I've got, we've already introduced them, Lori, Stephanie, and Rita. Stephanie and Rita are on our National Advisory Board. And Lori, I feel like you were on the National Advisory Board.
I was on it for 6 years, and my first term was started in 2015, actually, and I did those, and then I was the member relations officer that Stephanie Thabarge is now, so I was her predecessor.
Okay, and you have worked in the industry for some time, but you now work for AAPC.
I do.
I mean,
do.
still
love
in the
it.
industry, but I want to kind of dig into that in a little bit. But first, we're going to let Renee Dustman in from Healthcare Business Monthly. And our topic, when she comes in, Lori, it's your magazine article. So let's see here. Renee, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
How are you in upstate New York?
I'm doing great. We've had bizarre, sunny, mildly warm weather.
Wow. Wow. Is that welcome? Or are you guys in a drought up there as well?
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, we were just going to talk about Lori's article, The Art of Audit Sampling. And we talked about auditing before we went live. Lori is our auditing expert in this group. Lori, tell us a little bit about your auditing experience before we talk about the article.
Okay, so well, I've been in the field for, you know, I started coding when I was born, so, you know, 25-ish years ago. No, but I really took to auditing when I was working at a local practice here outside of St. Louis. I'm in Hannibal, Missouri, and I became their compliance officer and started auditing, really liked it. So I went and I got my CEMC first because, you know, the CPMA is a little intimidating. So I went and got that. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go for my CPMA. So then I left the clinic and worked for a remote company out of New Orleans. And then AAPC called and said, hey, would you like to join us? So now I work for a division of AAPC that a lot of people don't even know that we have, but it's the audit services division where we do audits and education and coding and risk adjustment and all that good stuff. So yeah, I love auditing. It's always been one of my favorite things to do. Not that there's anything with coding or risk adjustment either, but I love really digging in and doing that research, right, to figure out what should be billed and what can't be billed and all of that good stuff. So,
And how long have you been working for the national office for, Lori?
since December, it's almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years this year.
Okay. And tell us, because I know there are positions open with audit services right now.
Yep.
Auditor's
bad.
Okay. All right. So
if all kinds of them.
Okay. So and if you go to the AAPC website and scroll all the way down to at the very footer, there's a careers link. You can click on that and see some of the positions that they have, and maybe you could be working alongside Lori.
Yes, that would be great. We need I mean, we're looking for risk adjustment even. I know we need inpatient and outpatient like DRG type of auditors as well as pro fee. So yeah, we have a lot of work coming in, which is a good thing.
Yes, yes. And before we talk about your article, I'm just going to plug this really quick, you guys, that we have 3 contests today. We have so much to give away. We have well, we've got 25 e-newsletters we're going to start with. So if you're interested or have ever been interested in AAPC e-newsletters, let us know in the comments. The first 25 people who comment what their specialty is and what e-newsletter they feel like could help them in their career, those first 25 people will get that added to their AAPC account. The subscription is for 1 year. And go ahead and do that right now. And then I will reach out to everybody over the coming days to get those to you. All right, Lori, so let's talk about your article, The Art of Audit Sampling. That's in the current issue of Healthcare Care Business Monthly. What inspired you to write it?
Well, we get a lot of questions from auditors and clients that do their internal audits, and how do they start? Some of them haven't done internal audits before, and they just want to know, how do we even begin this because it seems very daunting, especially if you're a large practice, never been audited before, and you're trying to get everybody on board. So we get a lot of questions about, how do we start? How do we even pick our scope of our audit? What does the scope mean? How do we know how many? That's probably the biggest question. How many charts am I supposed to audit, right? So that's kind of how this article came about, was just from the multitude of questions that we get from our clients, or from webinars that we do, or from being at conferences and speaking. And so we just decided to put this together, but I can't take full credit for it. I wrote it, but Renee and her team and Lee, they make me sound like the smartest person ever. So I love it that I can just send them a word vomit and they turn it into something really amazing, right? So I love writing, but they make me sound really good.
Awesome.
No, she's lying. Her stuff comes in very clean.
But Renee and her team, they do that. They, like anybody could write for HPM, and if you feel like you're not a strong writer, they will help you through that. But Lori, so what's something maybe a myth about auditing that people may think that may prevent them from taking a step forward into auditing?
I think some facilities, and this being like the C-suite or the providers, think it's a bad thing. There's a bad negative aspect, oh, we're being audited. Oh no, but it's not like that. An internal or external audit, it's education. We want to make sure that they're doing it right before they get that letter from the payer or CMS or RAC or whoever it may be, right? We want to be there, because it's not an if situation, it's when you get audited by a payer, it's gonna happen. And so my aspect of that has always been, let me audit you first, so that when that audit happens, you can turn over your records to them and say, here you go, I dare you to find a mistake, right? That's the aspect that you need to be, if you're looking into getting in this career, if you're in it, have that educational piece and try to make it a positive experience instead of a negative one. Yes, it can be very daunting to try to get that started, but if you've got upper management support and physician support, if you have a physician champion, we talk about that all the time, have somebody in your practice that's on board, that's, yes, we're going to do this and we're going to do it right, and we're going to have a good outlook on it. I think that's the biggest part of it.
It sounds like you have your ducks in a row, and you, yeah.
I don't even know where my ducks are at this point.
Well, you're prepared for that moment, just like you said, that it could happen anytime, and it will happen to everybody. So you're just prepared that if they come knocking on your door, you have what you need to show that you are compliant and doing what you should be.
Absolutely. And we also back up a lot of what I do is, just like if you were to go to the doctor and have a diagnosis and want a second opinion, we have a lot of providers out there, they have internal audit programs. They maybe don't like something, or they want a second opinion. So then we walk in and say the same thing that you all coders and auditors have already been saying to them over and over. No, you can't bill this with this because it's an NCCI edit, or it's a modifier 25 issue, or you know, and the doctors, they don't always like those when they're told that they can't do something. So they want us, you know, they just want a second opinion. And that's a lot of what I do is, you know, hey, we're here to back you up or provide your coders with some additional education if the case may be.
Okay. Now, Lori, our CPMA credential, isn't it like 2 or 3 years old? Does that sound about right?
It's a lot older than that.
Is it? Okay. Okay. I'm
Rita
probably
would
thinking about
probably
it.
know
before.
the answer to that better than me, because I know she's been with the organization longer than I have, right, Rita? You're on mute.
Yeah, it's been around much longer than that. It was
Okay.
actually, it's got it. I'm going to say at least 10 years. I don't know
Okay.
why I'm saying that, but
Okay.
I think it's, yeah.
Well, I know it's talked about as in the group a lot for those future CPMAs or prospective CPMAs who are looking forward to the exam. Lori, what advice would you have for someone preparing for that credential exam?
Well, like I said, I took my CEMC first just because I wanted to have a different aspect. Like I wanted to have like a certified thing that I went through it before I took the CPMA, because I took my CPC in like 2002. And so this is probably 2010, 11 or 12, right? So I didn't just want to jump in and take my CPMA. So I decided to get that CEMC first. That's the evaluation and management one for those that they might not be as familiar with that one. So I took that first, but for the CPMA, I think one of the biggest things that is hard, if you've been auditing for a while, the test isn't hard. It's some of the regulations, the anti-Stark regulations, and those things, and what are the fines and what are the civil monetary penalties for those types of things. So that study guide that you get or you can purchase for the CPMA, that was inherently helpful to me. I don't think I've ever taken a certification exam without using the AAPC study guides, because they basically lay it out for you word to word. So definitely, I would suggest having some experience in auditing before you just jump in and take that exam, but that study guide is very valuable.
Okay. All right. So just being prepared, knowing your stuff before you head into that exam. Stephanie, do you have much auditing experience? I know we spoke about this a little bit. Have you audited much in your career?
Yes, I have done some as well. And I feel like another
Oh,
myth is also, oh, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Another myth I believe is also like coders would be like, oh yeah, everything is done correctly. I'm getting paid by the insurance. But then when they come back, they're like, wait, that's incorrect. So even though you are getting paid for it, there could be errors. And back to what Lori said about education, it's really just a great educational opportunity to see what we can fix and put maybe new processes in place or new documentation just to be added if providers are undercoding or overcoding. This is really an opportunity to address all of those concerns.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, if you haven't checked it out, look in our November edition of Healthcare Business Monthly. The article is called Art of Audit Sampling, and you can see Lori's excellent writing, excellent grammar, the whole shebang. and knowledge, and just kind of take a look at that, and maybe you'll discover auditing is a path that you want to explore in your career. So Renee, are there any articles from this month's issue that jumped out at you? I mean, having your hands in all of it, there's so much great information. Anything that you'd like to talk about?
Well, the one that sticks out to me is the one with the cover head, and that's the article on the split shared visits, because there's just so many questions surrounding those. And a lot of some things were supposed to change that aren't changing now until 2024, based on the final rule that came out last week or the week before. I don't even know what day it is, but so there's just always a lot of questions. So this article is Get the Facts About Split Shared Visits, and it was written by the chairs of the Documentation Advisory Committee and the Billing Advisory Committee, which is Christine Hall and Melissa Kirshner. And they just go through and answer like so many questions that you're never going to get explained anywhere else. I mean, not in the guidelines or anything like that. It's real, minute stuff that you see people asking in the forums and stuff like that. And they come up with, they took the time to answer all these questions, which stemmed from their ask and learn session back in June on the same subject. So that really kind of stuck out in my head, is that one. And it helped me understand it better. So
yeah, take a look at that one. There's another one we need to talk about, and it's what it means to provide the minimum necessary, by our own Stephanie Tam. Stephanie, tell us about this article.
So this article talks about minimum necessary, which many people might already know in all different aspects of healthcare. It really applies everywhere, from auditing to even the front desk, to medical assistants, to even administrative workers in the office. Just providing the minimum necessary, what we need to do to get our job done, and not providing too much information, because then that would be a breach, but just providing minimum necessary. So this article just talks about what is minimum necessary when we're fulfilling third-party medical record requests. What do we need to make sure is on the authorization form? What can we send out? What can we not send out? All good information to avoid any breaches or fines to the practices.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Stephanie, was this your first article in Healthcare Business Monthly? Yes. All right. So you get the CEU. You get CEUs for that.
I don't know.
Oh, I think usually there's that. So you should.
They do if they're not employees, but she's not technically an employee, so I guess I don't know. That's I don't know. I don't know how that works, and I don't handle the CEUs. Lee Fifield does that. So
Well, I'm gonna tell whoever, I'm gonna talk to Jamie Johns in our CEU department and say, hey, I told the whole world live that Stephanie's getting CEUs for her article and she needs to get those, darn it. And then she'll laugh at me and say, who do you think you are?
yeah.
But no,
Well,
experience was amazing. Just working with Renee's team, it was amazing. Just like Lori mentioned, I just put a whole bunch of words onto the document. I was like, here you go. This is all what I know. They kind of just put really great images. They formatted it really nicely. When I saw it in the magazine, I was like, wow, I wrote this.
Well, there's one that jumped out to me, and it's Professional Students Make Better Employees by our own Lee Williams. And I love that. And if you're a prospective coder, someone who is a student looking to get into this industry and make this your career, I would take a look at that article. She says, treat school like a job to successfully transition into the real world. And one thing we know, and I have learned, is that you guys are coders. You are lifelong learners. It is constantly like school, and it has to be, because every year you get updates and there's more information for you that you have to implement to stay compliant. So, all right. Well, Renee, we kind of naturally plugged writing for Healthcare Business Monthly.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just that, I mean, like you said, everything's changing. January 1st, lots of new stuff coming out, lots of new regulations, codes. Would love to get some articles on how you're handling to implement those changes, or, any problems or difficulties, how to, educate the physicians on how to implement and document those new requirements for those codes or something like that. That would be something that I would be very interested in, and I'd love to hear from everybody.
All right. So even if you're watching and you're on the fence about that, I think you should just take a step forward, reach out to Renee, and you can find her in the group. You could search the group members and find Renee. Renee, is it AAPC Renee or just Renee Dustman?
Renee.Dustman at AAPC.com.
Okay, there you go. All right. So we encourage you to take that step forward, and we'd love to see all of you share your expertise in healthcare business monthly. Thanks, Renee, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll see you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Renee.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, you too, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We've given away 25 e-newsletters. Like, the comments came in fast and furious, and so many different expertise that are watching. But I'm just going to read a few comments real quick. Mariah Edwards says, we have an internal auditor at our work who does a fantastic job, and she makes me want to do auditing. Mariah, maybe maybe we can talk you into that. Maybe we have. Let's see. Okay, Lawanda says, this is interesting. I'll have to look into auditing. Lori, is there potential to earn more as an auditor?
Oh, yeah. Because, well, in any aspect of what we do, I mean, the sky's the limit, right? You could go from working in medical records or the registration desk or something, and eventually, work your way up into the C-suite or be an auditor or compliance officer. I mean, the sky is the limit here. I think when I first started, I think I was making like $6 an hour or something. And that's gone up quite a bit. So yeah, there is a big potential. I mean, look at the salary survey that we do every year, right? And you can see what the potential is there for earnings. But the sky is the limit. I definitely feel like auditing is a good key step if you are interested in getting into management. You can manage auditors if that was something, or be a leader. Absolutely. I think it's a great field, and it's not going away. We hear that a lot. We always hear these rumors that with software, all of this is where our jobs are going to be obsolete. And that's just not the case in coding, auditing, or anything. Somebody needs to look at those records, right? So.
Yes. And our friend Carlita Johnson says she's taking her CPMA at the beginning of 2023. And Carlita, she is in every contest. I was sending her an email the other day and I had to be short, Carlita, because I had so many contest entries to get through. But I saw your name in there. I'm like, she is all over it. Lisa Boyd says this. She says the practice tests for CPMA are very helpful. These days, when I see people struggling with exams, I highly encourage them to find confidence and consistency with the practice exams before taking the live exam. It is worth the cost, and it saves you tons of frustration. And I've found, guys, in the group, that there are many who they take the exam maybe not understanding the concepts fully and thinking they know enough. But I feel like if you really put yourself through the practice exams, it'll give you a good perspective on where you need to be. What's that?
I have a comment. What from Lori said that. So I look at what our credentials are as building blocks to get to where you are in the success. So I've always said that I'm where I am today because of AAPC. As a leader in my organization, is that every step you take, whether it is in auditing or it's a specialty credential or it's management, is that they're building blocks and building the foundation for you to be able to be successful in your career. So, you can go many different ways and roads with the credentials that we have, and just, wholeheartedly believe it.
Yes. Would having the CPC alone be a good starting point for someone to get into auditing, or is there another progression of credentials?
I think the CPC is always a good starting point, especially if you're not really sure what you want to do in healthcare. Because we specialize too, just like physicians decide what they want to do. Do they want to do neuro or cardio or whatever? We can do the same thing. Maybe you want to be a broad person that does everything like me, or maybe you like HEMONC, for example. Right, Rita? That's one of her biggest. The CPC is a good starting point, and then it's like I said, the sky's the limit from there.
Okay, all right. Some other great comments coming through. There are a lot of people interested in the CPMA, you guys. So Laura Sarge says she's taking her CPMA on December 17th. Lady Martinez, a friend who she's been featured in Healthcare Business Monthly. She says she's taking her CPMA in 3 weeks. Peggy Sopalski says we have monthly audits. They do help to make clean claims that are paid the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, I feel like should be enough to stay on top of your auditing game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. Well, thanks to all who entered this first contest. I will be reaching out to the first 25 responses. I'll be going through that. We're going to do another one, you guys, right now. So we have 2 more contests. We'll do one near the end of our broadcast, but this one is for, well, let me just ask this question and we'll see who responds. Have you, if you've never, this is for you coders, if you've never used an encoder tool, why? What's holding you back? Is it cost? Is it you're comfortable with the system that you currently have? Let us know. The 3 I will pick 3 winners and I will share with them what they won after we go through and see a few of these comments. And if looks like cost is a big one. And I was actually looking through the AAPC group the other day, and people really love their encoder tools. Rita, do you use one?
Actually, I'm one of the few that probably doesn't use one. And a lot of times it's organizational decisions that lead you to do certain things. But I always do bring it up.
Okay. All right. Stephanie, how about yourself?
I do not use it either in my current work.
Okay. All right. And what would be, now we're going to do a little focus group. What is cost effective? What would be, because that is the primary response that I'm getting here. What would be a reasonable amount to pay each month for an encoder tool? How much more efficient would it make you? And is that worth the cost? And I don't know that answer. Maybe someone can speak to that in the comments. Lori, do you have any thoughts about that?
I don't know what an exact number would be, but when you think about obviously there's some learning curve there getting used to like Codify or 3M or whatever. But when I jump in there, I know I told my company not to even send me books this year, except for my CPT book. I got to have my CPT book. I mean, that's my Bible. But like the ICD-10 and HCPCS book, I just don't, in fact, I was looking for my HCPCS book the other day and it's still in the wrapper from 2022. So I was like, just don't even send them to me, because I just use Codify, especially because like if I'm looking up an ICD-10 code, I click on the index, I click on it, drops down, and it's like right there. It's so quick that I think is the biggest selling point right there, is the cost effectiveness. It's efficiency of using one, because it takes me a lot less time in Codify, especially ICD-10 codes. You know, you got the gigantic book, and that to me is one of the biggest selling points, I think, of having that. Plus, if you have something that you can check your NCCI edits with. So I do a lot of surgical auditing, and that is invaluable to me, because all I do is type the codes in and boom, it comes right up. These 2 are bundled. And why? And then you can click on the NCCI manual and go in there and look and see, are there any further additional instructions? So it's just very quick and easy, I think.
Yeah. And what I saw in the comments in the group is if you use an encoder tool, you love it. And speaking to Codify, I was actually just kind of digging around for some Codify testimonials, and they love it. In fact, I see, here we go. Ivelisse Vega, I've met her in Denver. She says Codify is amazing, but it would be the cost depending on the company. Thankfully, the company I work for now did purchase it. So here's the deal. We have so many great comments. I'm going to everybody who commented on Codify up to this point, and are watching live. So if you're watching this on YouTube with recording later, you are not, you are closed out from any of these contests today. But if you're watching Codify and you put a Codify comment in here, I will put your name in a hat, and I will draw 3 people who will get a free Codify subscription for a year. And it has to be a first-time subscriber. So I think that's probably, because I asked specifically if you've never used one, that's probably most people who have commented. So look out for that. I will, in fact, I'll put a winner announcement in the Facebook group just so everybody can see that. But there you go. So we're giving away 3 Codify subscriptions for a year to a first-time Codify user. All right. And the comments keep coming in. So now we've got one more contest. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. But Rita, I'm not going to give away where you are exactly. I mean, we know you're in Minnesota, but you have that beautiful cityscape behind you. What are you doing out in Minnesota?
So I'm speaking at the Minnesota State Conference, and I have been fortunate enough to be invited back 3 or 4 years in a row, and I enjoy doing it. Many of the chapters in Minnesota come to the state conference, and it's great. Networking and meeting everyone that is there, and they just do a wonderful job.
Awesome. What will you be presenting on, Rita?
What kind of leader are you? So everybody knows my passion is leadership and professionalism, and a lot of the things that I do for the AAPC is based on that. And it's just talking about, your style and integrating who you are into being the leader that you want to be, and what are the qualities. And then I also talk about many different leaders in the world today and how they became a leader and what's special about them.
Okay. All right. Stephanie, do you have any speaking engagements coming up?
I just finished speaking to a few. Just hear me now?
Yep.
All right, perfect. A lot of local chapters, they're like rotating through their officer right now. So I reached out to a few local chapters to speak to them, just talking about like the values of our AAPC membership, talking about the benefits of the membership, because a lot of people don't know you could actually save on hotels and restaurants. Is really great. And also there's 2 free webinars that are posted on the AAPC website now, so that you could earn CEUs by just watching those on-demand webinars and earning CEUs, which is great. So just talking to all the local chapters about the benefits.
Okay. It's funny you bring up CEUs, because in the Facebook group today, I noticed someone saying, I have like 36 CEUs I need to get. You saw that? Did you see that? And
yeah,
I thought,
get 36 CEUs by the end of the month or something like that.
Yeah. And I cannot reiterate enough. And I bet the people, our members watching, our friends here, are not those guilty of this, but you can practically earn nearly every CEU, if not get every CEU, if you stay on top of it throughout your 2-year CEU cycle. Stephanie, how do you do that? So you've got the free AAPC ones that you're aware of from webinars, local chapter meetings, Healthcare Business Monthly. Do you have a strategy when you start a new CEU cycle on how to knock these out?
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, attending those local chapter meetings, I think is a great opportunity to earn CEUs, network, meet other professionals. It's a great opportunity. Those free CEUs on the website. CMS also has some webinars as well, where you can submit those for CEUs. And just reading the Healthcare Business Monthly magazine, you learn so much from all the authors and everybody that submit content, and just completing that quiz at the end of the month just really tests your knowledge about what you read, and you really learn something from it.
Yes. Lori, how about you? Do you have a plan every CEU cycle to how you navigate these?
So I challenge myself to get 1 CEU a month. That's one of my goals, because as AAPC, we have high 5 goals that we have to get every month. One of mine is to get at least 1 CEU a month, But then I'll have months, well, like this month, because we just had Audit Con last week and I spoke at that. And so I got a lot of CEUs from that. I attended MGMA, so I got some CEUs from that. And then of course, I know conferences aren't something that everybody's work will send you to every year, unfortunately. But with the virtual options that we have available now, I get pretty much half of my CEUs are from conferences.
Okay, awesome. Rita, how about yourself?
So for me, local chapters is the core of it, right? So, being an officer for, over several years, that also assists in my obtaining the CEUs. I also attend conference and, regionals and nationals frequently. And that's a great place to get a lot of credential, a lot of CEUs at one time. And then I speak a lot too. So, which I encourage every single person to speak at your local chapter, because that's the entry point and how you get into this, and you get CEUs for that as well. So it's kind of, I speak a lot, so I think get a lot of my CEUs from that too.
Mhm.
Okay, well, this is probably the most shared link from my end that I share across the AAPC social media channels. It's the webpage for free and low cost CEUs. And I am just going to enter that into the chat here. So, and we do not hide this. It is very open, and we highly encourage our members to use these resources. And it's really those who wait to the last minute that they get bit in the butt, so to speak, because they've waited so long. And then you're stuck scrambling. And often what happens is you try to, you have to pay for webinars and things like that, which is fine. But if you just stay consistent, and I like Lori's plan of, every month trying to earn X amount. And there's someone, I can't remember who it was, but I remember having a discussion with someone who said at the beginning of every CEU cycle, they knew exactly where to go and get them all done within the first 3 months for that whole cycle. Yeah.
That's good.
So, yep, there you go. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys saw our promo video for our Black Friday month. Everybody's ditched the Black Friday day and traded it in for a big Black Friday month. And my dream was not to be a medical coder. It was to be a rock star with long hair when I was a little kid. So I know AAPC makes dreams come true for people in their healthcare professions, but they made my dream come true of having crazy long hair and being up on stage and being filmed. But yeah, so we rented out a concert venue in Salt Lake, and we did a little video shoot, and it was tons of fun. Everybody got a little bit crazy. That leads us to our last contest. Here we go. The comments are coming in. Sabrina says she loved the Black Friday logo, the ACDC logo. A few fans of that popping in here. Carlita, she's got the fire behind the ACDC. And we talked about this before going live. Man, it'd be cool to have those shirts. Like, but we don't have shirts, but we have fanny packs. I'm going to share my screen. Let me just pull this up. We're giving away some AAPC fanny packs. And let me get this up for you guys so you can see it. All right, I'm going to share my screen right now. All right. Okay, Rita, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So we currently have being made these AAPC, ACDC fanny packs. And I was told earlier this week, Alex, just give them away. Let's do it. Let's have fun. So we'll be giving them away throughout the month. And we have, let's see, how many did I think I have got 10 to share today. And we talked about this before going live, just a possible way to give them out. Oh, here's what it is, you guys. Okay, share for this broadcast, the first 10 individuals to share their favorite 80s album. Not download, because that's so now. Like, what was your favorite tape, cassette, or LP from the 80s? Your number one favorite. And Lori, what was your favorite from the 80s? Your favorite album?
From the 1980s, it was AC/DC. Or no,
Okay.
nope. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I love AC/DC too, but it was actually Def Leppard. They were my favorite. They were my go-to. Yeah.
Yes. So because Hysteria was a crazy huge album. Pyromania is a great album.
My favorite.
Okay, Pyromania. All right. Okay, Stephanie Tam. Now, this might be a little awkward here.
It's like 2 years old or like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Or,
Well, I can't say Wiggles or something like that because I don't think the Wiggles were there then. But
from Stranger Things, I have to say Metallica.
okay, there you go. There you go. I remember when my brother brought home the Metallica Master of Puppets cassette. And like back then, it was dark stuff. It's like, holy cow, this is so intense. So I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And now, we've all evolved to rock out like that.
Right.
Rita, 1980s album.
My favorite era, for those of you that know me. There was a couple, but I have to say the first concert I ever went to see was Rick Springfield. And that was like Jesse's Girl, and that was really, popular back then. That was something that was really iconic when we growing up. But,
Yes.
and the second would be Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. Hey, I have a confession because I know the ladies love Rick Springfield, but I like that Working Class Dog album of his with Jesse's Girl. It has so many great songs on there, and that's kind of my guilty pleasure that I crank in my car and belt it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Black is Back.
Yeah.
I still have the album. Like I said, first concert I went to see, and when he played at Live Aid in Philadelphia, I was a groupie back then, so I was right in front and got to meet him at the hotel. Camped out at the hotel for all these rock stars to come to the hotel and to meet him one-on-one. So
fun. Hey, there's some great responses here, and I can't believe I didn't even think about this. Mariah Edwards says Journey, the Escape album. Journey, 80s, timeless.
Yeah.
Ivy Lee's put Bon Jovi. That was my first concert, Salt Palace, and I think 87 for Slippery When Wet.
I'll make you laugh, Alex.
What's up?
I said I was a groupie. I followed him all through the Jersey bars when he was on the circuit. And, he's actually, I tell everybody he's my crush, right? He's my crush. He's the one guy that is just never forgot where he came from and still is like a good old boy. But I used to travel all through the Jersey bars, following him around.
Yeah. Oh man, and I know they picked the songs from Slippery When Wet from the Pizza Parlor Jury or something like that. The kids in New Jersey listening in. But we've got Thriller. I can't believe I didn't even think Thriller, but that's a classic as well. Lots of great music. When I was a kid, man, I feel like an old guy now because I can't relate to the music my kids listen to.
Neither can I.
Me either. Some of it is really out there too. Some of the music my kids are playing, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Stephanie, if I were to go on a road trip with you and you had and you put on you wanted to listen to somebody, who would that somebody be?
I might get some haters out there, but Taylor Swift.
Okay. She's got a new album out.
Yeah, Midnights.
Have you listened? You own it?
I don't own it, but I have listened to it on Spotify.
Okay. And does it live up to the hype?
Yes, it
It's
does.
so good. Okay. All right. Well, that's fun. We got so many great comments in here, and I'm gonna have to go back and listen. Did I say the first 10 people? If I did say that, then I will go through and take the first 10 responses. If I did not say that, then I will put everybody's name in a hat and just draw the top people who responded to this. And thank you so much. It's fun to see everybody's musical preferences. Laura Sarge says about Rick Springfield, he performed on General Hospital.
Yes. Noah Drake.
She even knows the name.
Oh, I love it.
Just a tidbit here. When Trivial Pursuit was at its peak, I always had the entertainment category and the geography category were mine.
Love it. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, we're winding down. I've got some work to do to get some contests winners figured out. So give me a few days, you guys, and I'll be reaching out to you individually, and I'll post in the Facebook group our winners there as well, so everybody can see that it had happened. And first, Stephanie, Rita, Lori, I know it's crazy with schedules right now, but thank you so much for being with us. And Rita, you be safe as you head back to Philly. When you headed home?
Actually, next Sunday. I've been here since Sunday, so it's a great experience in Minnesota. I just love visiting here. So thank you, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yes. Now we've got our next social hour is on the eve of Thanksgiving. And I thought, do we change that? Because everybody's going to kind of be shutting down, but we're going to keep it on the calendar. We're going to be here 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I think it's on the 23rd, the eve of Thanksgiving. And we will have more cool hit packs to give away. We will have more. We've got so much stuff to give away. Like, it is so much fun, but I'm just kind of like drowning in contest stuff right now. But I love to be able to share what we have, tools and fun things with everybody watching. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. And Lori, Rita, Stephanie, hang on with me just for a minute. But everybody have a great day, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.